Welcome to Nkosi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Welcome to Nkosi Talk Show, everyone. Find your own voice, lead from within. Over to you, Carol Ann. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Nomsa. And yes, good afternoon from the UK in London, UK. And as the writing facilitator, what I do is I support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. But more importantly, they experience a free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written, getting their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. So I'm Carol Ann, the writing facilitator, helping you unlock the writer within. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. So our topic today is how to deal with age dread. So are you someone who is freaking out about waking up one day and not recognizing yourself in the mirror because of your age? So in the today's culture, we are basically more obsessed about our aging, with losing our beauty, even love and respect. So over to you, Carol Ann. I would like to hear why have you chosen this topic?
It just caught my eye, and I thought it's something be lovely to explore, because I think a lot of people dread that getting older. There's this age dread in there, and they talk about, it's about getting older and about age. It's always me age, and for me, it's something that I've never actually considered. Each time you reach one of those milestones, like the 30s, the 40, the 50, the 60, those big birthdays, there's always something, about it, or some people don't want to speak about it, don't want to acknowledge it, and they look at themselves and watch their body changing, and then there's sort of this fear that creeps in, because it's all like you're losing something, that maybe that youthfulness that you had. There's maybe some things that you aren't able to do that you used to be able to do, and so it's like, how can you deal with that? Is there some way of being with that and accepting it? Because for me, getting older is only older in number. It's my age is only how many years I've been on this planet. So for me, it's just, okay, my body's changed over the years, but I don't think of, I don't dread, or I would say interesting, because I didn't used to dread that getting older. It was just like, okay, each birthday came, each big one came and went. And I am aware more now of a thought, am I going to get done what I'm here to do, what I want to do? There's almost a sense of maybe time could be running out that creeps in. And I think it's being able to deal with that, because you start thinking about that, and guess what? You're on that fear path that is not healthy, and that actually causes more problems than it actually solves. And it's then again down to your mental state, and you can find yourself in that depressed place and no action. So yeah, how can we deal with it? What is it about? Is it normal to fear you're aging? All sort of questions like that. So what are your thoughts, Nomsa? What did you think when you saw this topic? You're mute.
I loved when I actually saw the topic. And actually, I'm just like you. I've never really thought about my age as like I'm getting old now and stuff. I'm enjoying my age now than I was 20 in my 20s. And I don't want to go back there in my younger self when I was in my 20s, 16, or when I would tend to 18. There was so much confusion in my 20s. There was so much confusion. I basically started to finding out about myself when I turned 28. I'm 43 now. So I started finding myself. I was like, I'm enjoying my age now. I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying who I am. I'm accepting more of myself and basically living a positive life. But before, sometimes I wouldn't actually appreciate myself, or I wouldn't embrace life as I should. But now I'm embracing more life and just loving people more, and I don't have time for negativity, not in a like ego way. I don't have time to be around people who are negative. I'm enjoying. I come to an acceptance where if somebody does not like me, I shouldn't feel guilty. I shouldn't be upset because everyone has a choice. Or I need to basically keep myself healthy, look after myself, and love people around me, and appreciate myself more, and embrace my fears, because sometimes there are fears that you fear about life, and embrace them and create the habit that can actually help me to look good about myself. I'm drinking lots of green smoothie. Yeah, I drink a lot of green smoothie, and every morning I do my exercises, and I'm enjoying life. And sometimes I used to basically, when I moved to Hanley, 2010, it was 2010 when we moved to Henley. I went out for a run, and then sometimes I'll see a 70-year-old or a 60-year-old, and they are running, and I was like, I love this city, because basically when you see somebody older than you and they're doing exercises, you're like, I can't complain. So that's what, for me, the area where I live, basically, that's what is about. There's loads of like older generation, they go for walks, they go running, because we're in the countryside. So there's so much, the doctors, the GP here, because we used to live in Essex, but the doctors there, the GP there, they were not like here. The GPs here, they encourage the outdoors activities, basically stay outdoors. So I'm loving that. I'm enjoying my age.
That's lovely to hear. And I think
Yeah,
that is the key. It's about loving each age that you're in,
yeah,
because each age has its own challenges, its own experiences. And it is, as you get older, you've got your learnings, you've got your experiences. And with age actually comes wisdom, because you've had the experiences, and therefore you know a lot more. You've learnt things that you didn't know before. And so it's actually embracing that. And as I totally get what you're saying about not wanting to go back to the teens, the 20s, because it is like, oh gosh, they're always like, who am I? What do I want to do? A lot of finding your way around and emotional stuff going on. And as you say, as you get older, there's something that you start to get to know yourself, and there's something that feels more settled, and it's allowing that feeling of being more settled with yourself to then embrace the aging process, because obviously your body does change, and it's recognizing what the changes are. But also the changes can also be related to, and what's the word? When something goes a bit quicker, brought on more quickly, because I can't think of the one word that explains that. About, if you're stressed, if you've got emotional upset that you've stored in your body, and the more that you can work with that and release that, release stress and work with your emotions, let go of things that anger you, or rather than hold on to anger, work with it and release it. What was it that made you angry? Is it something that was worth getting angry about? Really explore it. And is it something you can just let go of? Is there a conversation that needs to be had so that you can then let it go? Because it is the emotional upset that we hold on to, creating the stress in the body, that, as the word, enhances and speeds up that aging process of the body. So the more you can release that. And I read somewhere, it says, research studies show that it is our ability to express, hear, and work with feelings that is far more beneficial to our work and personal life than intellect or brain power. And so the more that you can work with that, the more relaxed you are inside, the more you can deal with life, the easier it is to then, move through that aging process and be with each age what it brings. Each age brings its own trials and tribulations, and challenges. But it's reflecting back and thinking, okay, for me, I was fit, very fit. I love sport. I love dancing, a lot of activities. But these last few years have sort of found me not doing as much. And I know I sort of go, I get a bit depressed about it sometimes. But then I think, no, pull myself up, keep working on it. What is it that's stopping me? And keep focused on, well, what can I do? And how can I replenish this body? And so it is focusing on what you can do and letting go of what you can't do. And just keep, as you say, moving forward with that. Because as you were saying, it's no point focusing on the negatives. That again that's an emotional drain that doesn't help you. It's focusing on the positive. How can I move forward? What can I do with, even getting the wrinkles? It's like, rather than going, oh my God, wrinkled and I can't deal with this. Embrace it. It was like with my hair, I went grey quite early. And for a while it was like, oh, I've got to do with a bit of colour. But, I just let it go. And I've just allowed my hair to just, the sort of the shade of grey has changed over the years, but it's just become, I've grown into it, and actually it's much more comfortable now. And I think it's just something to embrace. So it's being with what is going on and what each stage is at. So what do you hear in that, Namsa?
Actually agree with you, Carol Ann, when you actually talk about our own experiences. Basically, like we have to have our own abilities to express our feelings. And you talk about your gray hair because you are embracing who you are as a person. You can pull a hair dye if you wanted to, which is fine. but you chose to to leave your hair the way it is. Like my dad went gray when he was really, really young. Uh, I think he used to pull his hair because apparently when you have one gray hair or two and then you pull it out, you go gray. But he had this bushy hair and he just went gray. But he was so handsome, dark, handsome man. And he was a very, very good looking man. And I see him with beauty, always smiling. And I've never thought like him being an old man. And when he died, I remember looking at his date of birth and I was like, oh my God, he was the old man. He was older than my mom, but you wouldn't tell because he was very charming. He was good looking, embracing who he was. And I think that is amazing. If you basically embrace who you are, learn to actually create your own habit that are going to serve you as a person, your values and your core values, and that just basically, and like you talk about how you had to, like myself, I used to put makeup. I stopped putting makeup now. I don't put makeup because I just feel like I was like, okay, I basically I've look at myself when I don't have makeup and I look at my skin and I was like, I I need to leave my skin alone in the way it is. And even for my religious reasons, I was like, okay, the Bible, what am I dabbing into my into my, I don't even know the recipes. I think there are some recipes for makeup that are natural, which are good, but some of them we don't know the make. Maybe we think we are looking good, but the age, maybe it can make you look older as you use it every day. So I stopped using it. I just eat my green smoothie and I don't use it a lot. I use uh urban products. I use the same products all the time. I don't change products. Even if I see people selling products, I don't buy products like changing different products. I just focus on one product. And in my skin here, I use Vaseline
Yeah.
because sometimes I get dry skin. So I use the Vaseline. It does work for my skin. It leaves my skin fresh, and I don't do a lot with my body. I do exercises, and I don't want it like when I have something that is stressing me. I've learned to create a habit that if there is something that is stressing me as a person, I need to receive the message and I need to deal with it, dealing with it through my feelings. And then I need to ask myself, can I solve this problem? If I can solve the problem, who do I need to contact? And I contact that person. If I can't solve my problems, I have to tell myself that this is the challenge. This is the challenge that I'm facing at this moment. Is it actually worth me stressing myself? Because this problem can eventually be sorted out. But with my health, once I produce chemicals, there is no way that I can go back to my health. So I look at the situation like that, and I don't stress myself. I just I don't stress myself. Like now with coronavirus, with everything, we're like, why are we stressing ourselves? We're just gonna go uh downgrade our home because sometimes the space is too big, we don't need it. So it's like, and then when things go back to normal, instead of me stressing myself and everybody else is stressing themselves, so what can we just sort out the problem just very easy, and then when everything goes back to normal, we can always change that environment again. So everyone agrees with me that as long as the children still go to good schools, private schools is fine. So everyone agrees. So I don't see any problem. So I don't like stressing myself. If I can actually, if I don't like to stay in the place where it's stressing me, I have to change that environment. Or if I'm getting stressed, I have to ask myself, is this worth me stressing myself? Like my I have siblings. My siblings don't stress me. I look after I'm the middle one, I'm the third one. My older sister, she's in Africa. I'm there for them. I try to be there for my siblings all the time and love and give them that love environment, because I got to spend so much time, because as the older siblings, you get to spend time with your parents, and then they show you what love is about. So that's why I am planting it to my siblings so they don't stress me. I know they are happy. If they're not happy, I just have to be there for them. My children, they're not stressing me. If they are naughty, they get grounded. Honestly, if they get grounded. If they're sick, I don't get stressed. I pray to God. I know He's with me. I just pray to God and say, God, here's the situation. Or if I'm not well, I pray to God and say, here's the situation. Can you, the healing, please, can you pour out some healing? I basically, it's something that it's a habit that you learn the hard way, to put you first and look after yourself. So it's not a habit that happens overnight. Like when I was saying, if I look at my 20s, my 20s was a roller coaster ride, Carol Ann. Boyfriends, thinking about boyfriends. Are they liking me? Oh my goodness.
A big roller coaster, round and round.
Oh my goodness, the emotions were like this. And friends, annoying friends. It's like I don't want to go back there. I'm happy the way I am with this age, that I'm enjoying this age.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I certainly am aware I'm much calmer now. Having done a lot of work on myself and self-exploratory and personal development, and much calmer. A lot of people comment about how calm I am, and when I think back, there was a lot of anger. They used to do just slam doors, It's like, oh, get away, or something didn't go right. It's like, is that really the way to solve a problem? But then I didn't really know how else to do it. It's like the frustration was there, and it was just explode out. So certainly a lot more anger then, and I wouldn't want to go back to that, because it isn't healthy. It's unproductive, and it certainly doesn't help relationships. Being calmer, more in the moment with the other person, or with what's going on, and just going, okay, what is going on right now, and being able to deal with how you're feeling. If anger is arising, or something, some emotion that's pulling you down is arising, just being with it and working with it, and then just letting it go and asking, okay, so what's here to be looked at? What's here to be learnt? And I know this morning I saw something, it was written by someone, and I immediately went into this, I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach, and I started feeling angry. It was not anger, but almost like what am I doing? Let's give up. I might as well give up now. And it just literally, my whole energy just went. And then I thought, what are you doing this for? You're allowing this to happen. All that was said, somebody's just put a post out. You've read it and you've made it mean something, and you've just gone off on an emotional tangent with it. Let it go. Maybe it's a kick up the backside for you to pull your finger out and get and do something, rather than going, oh, poor me, or whatever. And so it's it is being able to deal with these situations in a different way that's much more healthy. Certainly, the emotion isn't so much of a up and down or the depths and the heights. It's much more gently, and certainly it's more of a toe dip than a wallowing in the, that depth. But and it's something about treating your problems as an adventure, exploring, being curious, what's going on here now? And if you can think of and have that adventurous attitude, that's much more of a sort of a youthful, younger attitude to have, childlike, playful quality, rather than a serious quality that does age you, that holds you in a space of not being able to move forward. So, and one way is to actually be more aware of your values. What is important to you? So when you can sit with that and go, okay, so what's actually important right now? What is important to me? And what else is important? And what else is important? And just keep asking yourself and making out a list. And then going down that list and then perhaps putting them into order. Well, what's the most important here? And just get your top 5. And then look at what's happened and say, well, actually, in amongst my values, what's important here for me? Where does this fit? Is it something to focus on? Is it something to get upset about? Or is it something I can let go of and work with in a different way? But it just helps bring you back to that sort of, what's the word? Direction. It gives you that direction again, brings you back on track, and helps you to then really let go of something that it's not that important. And in that way, you find the universe starts to support you in other ways, And I think one of the things about getting old is actually not living up to expectation of getting older. So for me, I always said, I'm not going to retire. I intend to keep going with what I'm doing. Okay, I've retired from teaching, but I've got my own business that I'm working on. I don't intend to retire from that because I'm enjoying the exploration, as tough as it is at times. And there are times like today where I go, oh God, what am I doing? Is there any point carrying on? In that moment is it the thought, well, actually, when you have that, here is a breakthrough for you to have, because very often you get that thought just before you're about to have a breakthrough. And if you give up in that moment, you never know where you might have gone on to. So it's again breaking through, but certainly don't retire. But it's picking up new professions, picking up new skills, getting creative. If there are things that you can't do physically, let it go. Pick up something else. And I remember my dad, he sort of approaching his 60s and being really worried about retiring, because a lot of people that he knew had retired, and within a couple of years they died. And that's what he was afraid of most. And I said to him, well, think of something you could do when you've retired. And he said, oh, well, it'll cost me money that I won't have then. I said, well, prepare for it now. What is it you'd like to do? So he thought about what it was he'd like to do. And he's very good with carving and with woodwork. So he got a lot of his tools together. While he was working, he bought all the tools he wanted. He and Mum bought a motor caravan. And when he retired, they were busy with the gardening, with gardening club, they used to go away for 6 weeks at a time in their motor caravan with my aunt and uncle. And he did a lot of his woodwork and whittling. And he said, I don't know how I had time to to go to work before. But he was busy, he was active, and it took him into retirement, and he went on years beyond, when he had retired, well into his 80s, So again, it's that reframing it, not worrying about it and going, oh God, because yes, people retire, they got nothing to do, they just go, oh, what am I now going to do? And then it's like something switches and they've gone. So give yourself something to live for. Change up the pace as well. Maybe go a bit slower. But certainly, there's no retiring from life. You might retire from one job, pick up another activity, another profession or career or something, that you want to do, or hobby, and make something out of it. So I don't know where your thoughts are in terms of retiring. What's that word mean for you?
I've never thought of retiring, Carol, and I think I'm so lucky with my work. I can actually be anywhere. Stella was saying it's a blessing to reach this age. Just thank God and enjoy it. So I've never really thought about retiring, but I think I'm actually thinking of building the company in a way that it can run without me around. So that's what I'm planning to do now, so that I can do my other things and just enjoy life, and not worrying about, like you talk about, basically, you were talking about sometimes you have to think about your values and how important they are, and write them down, and deal with your anger as well. I don't get angry anymore. Basically, I used to 10 years ago. I don't get angry with anymore. I just, when things don't go my way, Carol Ann, look, I'll show you proof. I've got lots of earphones. When things don't go my way, I go on my sofa and I listen to the music. I have to think. Basically, I don't have time to get angry. This one, when Martin, when things don't go his way, he goes, "Ugh." He gets angry, throwing things. They're like, calm down. No, just sit there and calm down. But with me, if things don't go my way, because things they do, basically they'll go wrong, basically. So I just sit there and watch my music and find a way. Is there a way? Think about the next person to call, and who can I call to solve the problem? And if my expectations are not met, and I've not thought about retiring, actually. I think it's something that I need to think about it, my retirement in a home somewhere. I think I need to build a retirement home where I'm going to retire. I need to think about it, and where am I going to retire? I think basically you just have to, if you can, you just have to. There are some people that retire because they're billionaires, they've made loads of money. But even though the billionaires don't retire, they still work. So I'm not sure. I think I need to think about this. Now you've given me some homework to think about my retirement, and start writing.
Sorry, I guess it's what are you retiring from, and then what are you going to do? Because I think it's the being inactive that then sets your body up into, oh, well, I'm out of here, So what would you be retiring from, and what could you do? Because I think it's, as I was saying with my dad, he changed his activities, and he was very active. But his way of life changed and his focus changed. So, yeah, you retire from a job, but you're not retiring from life. And for me, the work that I do now is my life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stop doing that. So I don't see me ever retiring from that. I've retired from teaching. I'm not going to retire from what I'm doing now. So I hear you, what you're saying about retiring, and what do you see when you retire now? What's that thought? Because what would you be retiring from? And then what would you want to be doing?
Okay, so if I retire with Nkosi Talk Show, I won't be retiring. I will keep going with Nkosi Talk Shows. So if I retire with my job, that means somebody else with my company will have to run the company, but I'll still be there. And because I can run my company anywhere, wherever I am in the country, so that's fine. But I have to think about that question. What will I be doing if I do retire? I have to think about that.
Yeah.
I really have to think about it. There's a guy I was talking to today, and he said that he's not gonna go to work anymore. So I was like, why? And he said he's just been told by the company, by the NHS, that the doctors, that he can't continue working because his health is no good. So he said he's done the assessment at his workplace as well, and they've told him the same. So they've referred him to the head office for them to give him a retirement date. But he only, I think he's 62. So because the retirement in UK is 65, is it? Yeah, he's 62. So he's been there for a long time. But I guess sometimes it's the health, that if the health is no good, sometimes you just have to make a decision and retire and just look after yourself. If that's the case, and just think about, just do something like, I know he does fishing, and I love fishing actually. I need to find out where I can go fishing. And he loves fishing, so I think it's nice to keep active, whatever you do, even if you do retire. So I have some homework today.
Yes.
To write it down. But I think I'm more grateful now than I was before when it comes to my life. I don't think when I was like in my 20s, I don't think I was grateful for who I am. But now I am more grateful, and I feel blessed for everything that I have, and basically just being me and being able to breathe. I feel so. I'm so grateful for that.
And
But
that's important.
Yeah.
To feel that gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that creates happiness within you.
Yeah.
And a satisfaction of life.
It's very important. It's like in Africa, I've had some people saying they've traveled around the world, and they meet people who have nothing, but they are so happy. I think that's how we are. For me in Africa, that's how I was brought up. I was brought up surrounded by people who had enough to eat, but when you look at them, they are so happy. And each and every day, basically, they are very, very grateful. So I think that helps me a lot as well. When I look at my life, when I was growing up, my values with my family, that we were so happy, but we didn't have a lot, because my dad, on my daddy's side, my dad was a teacher, so we had enough for us to live. And with my mom and my stepdad, basically my stepdad, they come from a rich family, so they had enough. They had more than enough. But he was a grateful man as well, that you have to work. If you want something, you have to work. So I think that is helping me a lot to understand that when it comes to life, you get what you give and you get what you feel. The feelings, you get what you feel. So it does help me a lot to basically to be grateful about, and not to think about my age, because like sometimes you see people complaining saying, oh, my age, my this, but then I'm thinking actually somebody went to bed, they didn't have food. So sometimes you have to think life that way. You have to find something that helps you with your strength, or people around you like that helps you to have that strength, to build your strength.
That is very important, because it's having that strength, and not just physical strength, it's that inner strength to keep going, isn't it? And it's finding
Yeah.
that, and people that can support you with that. And it is being grateful, it's having that positive mindset, rather than a negative mindset, shifting your focus onto, well, what can I now do? Like that person you were saying, well, okay, they've been told that they need to leave their job. Rather than focusing on, God, I can't do this anymore, it's like, okay, what can I do? And being active. And I think that was something that you said, it's about being active, and maybe doing something new. It actually keeps your mind active, because if you're stuck in a rut, your brain just gets very lazy, because it's used to that thought pattern. Whereas if you give it something new to think about, it makes your brain work.
Yeah.
And I know my mum and dad used to love these puzzle books, Dad did crosswords, mum did other puzzles and word puzzles, and I used to love Sudoku. I still do, but I haven't done one in ages. Every time I used to visit my mum, she'd cut them out of her magazines for me, and I'd be sitting and doing the Sudoku ones, which is the number puzzle ones. And it does keep your mind sharp and active. And it is actually about cultivating other skills, finding things that you can do appropriate to your age. So if you can't work, don't go into a slump, of, oh gosh, I can't work, so I can't. And it's like that, well, I can't do anything mode. You can do something. There's always something you can do. And maybe there's something that you've always had a yearning to do, but never had the time to do. Or maybe there's something you've never even thought about learning, or you've thought, well, that's beyond me. Have a go at it. You've got the time now. Have a go. Because again, that gets your brain active, and it keeps it going. And that's really what's important, because the more you're not doing anything and you're still, the stiller your brain gets, and it just shuts down. So it is important to keep your brain active, and bring out the creative side. Maybe pick up writing or painting. My mum used to do a lot of craft work. She was always into different crafts anyway. So she always had something on the go, all through her life, which was so beautiful to see. And but what could what could you do? What is on around you? Events that you could go and visit. Although at the moment there's not a lot. I sort of, yeah, interesting. I've gone back into before we had lockdown, where you'd have there was like a knitting club my mum used to go to. There was a line dancing club she used to go to. There was all sorts of different. She'd be out every day at different meetings. So, and I know this lockdown period probably hasn't helped a lot of people, and has maybe added to the aging process in terms of you not being able to get out and be active. And so it's now picking up and recognizing, okay, have you gone into a bit of a slump over this period? Because I know I have. It's like I slept a lot in the beginning. I have been very still. and my body's telling me, it's like, so it's now picking up and going, right, what can I do? What can I to get it moving again, and get out and about? Because I found a few times when I've been out now and meeting up with people, there's like this, sort of, I feel alive again. It's like it brings everything into 3 dimensions. Being on the computer like this is very just sort of 2-dimensional. And I really got the difference when I met up, been out a few times and met up with people to have that conversation. But you know what? I felt absolutely exhausted afterwards and so good and tired. So yeah, you can tell how much you're not used to it. So yeah, what could you do? And again, is that fear is here about getting out again. Fear stops you. Fear, remember, is only a false event appearing real. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. You've no idea what's going to happen. And for me, if nothing else, surely this period of time we've been through has taught you it's that you don't know what's around the next corner. You don't know how quickly your life's going to get taken away from you, or someone their life is going to get taken away from you. So really, for me, it's about living life now and working with those fears and letting them go and saying, well, if I stop myself from doing this, am I going to regret it? Because actually, regret is another really, I want to use the word insidious emotion that really pulls you down. And life is very short, and life is for living. So find ways of getting over those fears and recognizing that actually what's in your head isn't real. It hasn't happened. And so make your life what you want it to be. Enjoy it, move, yeah, that, whatever those words are, that is expressive. Be expressive in other ways, and actually going and meeting people, having conversations in person, can bring, for me, it brings, as I say, it brought me back to life again. So bring life back into your life. So yeah, looking at what you can't do, shift your focus and go, what can I do? And embrace the fear and let it go. Again, I've talked about tapping, emotional freedom technique, just, tapping your collarbone and just saying, oh, this fear, this fear, and maybe tapping the top of your head, this fear, and keep doing that until, the fear just subsides. I mean, that's just a very basic use of tapping, but it's really powerful because I use this quite a bit. I can feel that fear kicking in. And there's something here that wants to be said that hasn't yet been said. And I wonder what that is. So let's hear from you, Nomsa. See what's here that's wanting to be said. I mean, maybe there's something that our audience wants to hear. What are their concerns? Maybe there's something that we could share that would support them in some way. I'm not sure. What do you get a sense of?
I love when you talk about dance lesson. I love to dance. I go running. When I finish running, I finish with my dance move. And when we did that 5-day challenge, so after we finished that 5-day challenge, and one day I was in church, I think, and then one of the church members there, he came to me and was like, oh, I've been sitting here. I don't know why I've been sitting here, but I think I've been waiting for you. So I was like, would you like to join the choir? So I was like, the choir, and it was like, I know a girl, she lives in Reading. They have a choir. They've been on BBC and they won. So it's a good choir. And would you like to join it? You'd be good. I think you'd be good hanging out with them. I was like, yeah, I love to join it. So I applied and they accepted me. So I've been there once. So tomorrow will be my second time.
Mm-hmm.
So I've decided,
Nice.
I've decided that I'm just gonna join the choir and do some singing. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
yeah, instead of thinking about my age and just have fun, because
Mm,
life is all about fun and just embracing who you are as a person and self-acceptance as well, when you accept yourself for who you are. And just like you were saying, that there are no guarantees, and goes to talk show we say there are no guarantees. Kamal's party says that there are no guarantees for tomorrow when it comes to life, and that is the truth. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, and you spoke about it as well, that no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow, and tomorrow could be we were talking about, me and Dr. Bigot on Tuesday, we're talking about the death topic, how what do you do when you lose someone, and we spoke about it. When we finished talking about the topic, I had a message, I lost my cousin. So no one knows what's gonna happen, and sometimes you have to basically enjoy every moment. And the age actually is just a number. There are some people that you look at them and they are so happy. They are older, but they are so happy. And when you ask them what makes them happy, they're like, it's just being grateful for my life. I'm just grateful for my life. And you can't really, there's nothing you can do when it comes to life. I know there are some people who go through challenges, but if you were to remove challenges when it comes to life, and everybody live a happy life each and every day, life will be boring. But with those challenges that we face each and every day, they give us strength. They basically they help us to become who we want to be, because each and every day we basically you gain a different strength, and we learn different things each and every day, and every person that we meet, we learn things from them. And I've realized with myself, sometimes I meet people and I learn something from them, then I get home, I'm like, find myself researching what they've been telling me, and just having a look, and just having that knowledge that people give you. Or sometimes somebody will be talking about something, and I think we're just here on earth. We are here to serve, not to worry about how old we are. Even when you are 70, 80, 90, you still have to, we are here to serve. For me, my great grandmother died, I think she was 109.
wow.
When she died, I felt that at home there was something that was missing, because we were children and we need to muck about with her and play with her. We were so happy just her being around us. We were so happy. She never ever complained. She'll always like play with us children. And when my grandmother goes away, because we lived with my grandmother, parents working, and during the day with my grandmother, and we just play with her. And it was so nice. When she died, it was like something had gone, something was missing, because she was so happy. And we were so happy just being around her. She never said, she always said 109. I think that's too much now. I'm happy I've lived my life. And when we serve her food, like sometimes because she was blind, she went blind. And she would count her meat and she would be like, if I have 4 meat, that means I was served 5 meat. Children, come here. Because she knows we stole her one piece of meat. And she'll be like, where is my meat? And we'll be like, we've eaten it. Or sometimes I'll be like, you have to share. You have to share. She was my great grandmother. It's like, you have to share. And she knew basically because that was how we marked her. We used to play with her. And it was so nice to see somebody embracing who they are. And I think that's what we should do. We shouldn't worry about how old we are. We should actually be grateful about who we are and what God has given us as human beings. And just continue being who you are and continue serving as well, like you were talking about. You don't see yourself retiring. That means you want to serve people while you are still here, which is a good mindset, Carol Ann.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
As
a
you
good
say, it's
mindset.
about being who you are
Yeah.
and being here and serving and continue that. And I think what you were saying about people, we do lose people, and we're sometimes some people have more experience of losing family and friends than others. But I also think when we get, I know it's something that's starting to impact me, and I'm really aware of how my dad used to feel because he belonged to the territorial army, and there's a group of them that were really close, and used to meet up, and I knew them really well, but then they started dying, and I think my dad was one of the last ones left, and I could feel his, oh, that's someone else gone. It's like your companionship of people with you on this earth have gone, and you feel like you're on your own, and I really had that sense that drained his energy quite a bit, and made made him feel quite sad. And I'm beginning to sort of feel into that more, or become present to it, because the last year or so I've had people that I've either done courses with, or trained with, and other people that they're now gone. It's sort of like of my age or a little bit older, but they've gone. They've died, and I'm going, wow. And as you say, there's like this presence that's missing on this earthly plane, and it does bring it home that, oh, they're not here, and it's again something to deal with, and maybe it's okay to be sad. It's recognizing, sadness is part of the process, and to mourn whatever loss there is, whether it's the loss of your own youth, whether it's the loss of loved ones or people that you knew, but then bounce back again, work through that process so that you can come out the other side and be grateful. The other thing is, in a way out, is being grateful, as you keep saying, gratitude, and I'm so grateful for having known these people, for the richness that they brought to my life, the learnings that they gave me, the teachings, and just knowing them. And I'm really grateful for that. And so that's what then helps me to bounce back up again, and to let go of that feeling of, oh gosh, there's someone else gone, and it's like almost a sense of, oh, what is it? When's it going to be my turn? That sort of starts to creep in. But you never know when it's actually going to be your turn, whatever age you are. And as you say, you're here to serve, and you're here for a purpose. And whatever your purpose is, will take as long as it takes. And for some people, it's only a short time. For other people, it's a longer time. And that's something that I've also come to realize, people that have gone earlier, well, maybe that's their life's purpose is complete. Again, it's another way of not making wrong the fact that, oh, they've gone, their life is complete, their life's purpose is complete, they've done what they came here to do, and then it really makes whole their journey and surrounds that in gratitude, and an understanding and love, and allows them to move on to their next plane of learning. For me, I believe, we do move on. Our spirit lives on, and we've then got other lessons to learn. And we're here to learn a lesson, several lessons, so it's being with the whole process of living, aging, dying. It's a natural cycle, and it's how you embrace it at each stage and learn. Sorry. Learn about the croaks in the throat, the things that want to be said, want to be expressed. Maybe there's things you haven't expressed over the years. Learn to express them, because again, that frees up your body. It frees up your mind and your soul, and allows you to a freedom, of being and being able to be present. So again, it's come back to enjoy experiences, be grateful, and embrace, the whole process. And if you do dread aging, if there is fear setting in that you can't deal with yourself, because it isn't always easy to deal with it on your own, contact one of us, because we can support you in that process. Just, talking through, being with you, or take you through some processes to release the fear, release the anxiety, be able to shift your focus and, grow old, age in a grateful way, in a happy way, enjoying what's coming on, and have that bounce back in your step. It's bringing a youthful attitude to whatever age you're at. So that's where, we can support you. So, do get in touch. You don't have to do this on your own. And I think that's where sometimes as we age, we feel we're on our own. It can get lonely. Reach out. We're here, and that's what we're here for, to serve. So in what way can we serve you? Let us know. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. I'm not going to add anything for what you said. I'm just going to say, just live with grace, and just go to our page, like Carol Ann say. If you're watching our video, don't worry about your age. See, look at me. I'm not wearing makeup. I'm happy. I feel comfortable. And I don't worry about my age. The reason why I don't worry about my age is I always look back and say to God, you carried me for 43 years. And I'm so grateful. Because like Carol Ann was saying, last year you say you lost some people that you did training with. And that is basically, that helps me as well when I look at people that didn't make it to my age. So I'm like, God, I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful for my life, for what I have, and for the years that you carried me. So we are here Monday to Friday. Live with grace, everyone. Have a lovely weekend, and God bless you.